is Erin Brockovich. Erin Brockovich, from the movie, well, not just from the movie, but she famously went after Pacific Gas and Electric (PG&E) back in the 1990s, late 80s, early 90s, when they were giving the residents of Hinckley, California, cancer. And she ended up getting them a huge settlement and becoming an environmental advocate and activist. And she got a bunch of money from that as well, which she well earned, more than she ever supposedly asked for, according to the movie starring Julia Roberts. They made a movie of her story, which is pretty wild. I found her on Twitter about a year or two ago and saw that she had started writing a Substack. Wow, about water and about the environment. And I'm going to do this for Reef. Water. Yeah, we're going to do water because I'm from New Jersey, so we do water. So I say water, and I bet Reef's cracking up right now. So, yes, water. That is where Miss Brockovich had started, but she's also looking out for families and environmental and how corporations destroy towns and the environment that end up poisoning towns. Well, something like that certainly happened this week, didn't it? And that would be in East Palestine, Ohio. And not just there, but there were other trains and other explosions and other chemical things that happened. But of course, what's happening in East Palestine is terrible. So please, if you can, go and support the Brockovich Report. It's literally thebrockovichReport.com. She got a vanity URL for it, but it is a Substack. Erin writes it with Suzanne Boothby. Suzanne's terrific. So worried about toxins in the Palestine water, East Palestine's water, they wrote an article with resources and asking questions, some basic questions for anybody who's in the area. I know I want to mention Anthony Malecki, who lives pretty close to the area. Shout out to our brother Anthony, and I hope everything is well. I saw a picture of you with the wife this morning, and so happy to see that everyone's home and safe and with pups and everything. But my goodness, what's happened to that town is horrible. But so Erin's article, and she's going to be, by the way, in East Palestine on Friday the 24th. She announced today. But the situation in East Palestine and surrounding areas is ongoing, and information is changing quickly. But here's what we know today, and this was on February 15th. That was a couple of days ago. So if you missed yesterday's post, you can click on that. Again, go to thebrockovichReport.com and you can see all of this. In case you missed it, officials say air quality in East Palestine is fine, but don't drink the water, according to their public media. Ohio Department of Health Director Bruce Vanderhoff said air quality testing shows it is the same as it was before. But Tiffany Kavalek, Division of Surface Water for the Ohio EPA, said they're watching the cloud and how it can affect the water systems. Well, we know there is a plume moving down the Ohio River. That can't be good. Kavalek said that water systems are being shut down as that plume goes over an area, and testing is taking place to make sure the water is safe. I saw something about Cincinnati shutting down its city system as the plume passed by. So residents of East Palestine are being advised to drink bottled water for now. Vanderhoff said water from the municipal system appears to be fine, but more extensive testing is ongoing. I would say it is not fine. It looked like there was antifreeze in that water, according to when somebody stuck a stick or a rock from every video that I saw on Twitter. But he said people with private wells should get them tested, and he said they can do so by calling this phone number on the screen. And there's another link to read more resources in this article. Anyone on the ground, trust your instincts. We're reporting what officials are saying, but only those in the area can determine what feels safe for you. It almost sounds like do your own research. FAQs. Okay, so big thanks to our friends, the scientists and support team at TapScore and Simple Lab for putting together this info. Simple Lab is an award-winning science and health services company founded at Cal Berkeley with the mission of improving drinking water and long-term health. TapScore is a service for easy home water testing and reporting created by Simple Lab. How convenient. And Brockovich Report actually wrote about them back in 2021, I believe, with relation to Flint. They are not affiliated with these services. They're just friends. They think that their testing is safe and easy. They're offering a few links to their testing kits for ease and for anyone who may want to test their water. So what was spilled exactly? And she's going to go through exactly, specifically what these are in detail. And I'm going to butcher it because I'm no chemist. But the US EPA has said the following chemicals were known to have been released into the air, ground, and water: vinyl chloride, butyl acrylate, ethyl hexyl acrylate, ethylene glycol monobutyl ether, and isobutylene. These industrial chemicals used to make products like PVC, rubber, paint, and other chemicals. You can be exposed to these chemicals via ingestion, dermal contact, meaning skin, or inhalation, because they are volatile and quickly partition into the air. So what is vinyl chloride? And this is what everyone's been talking about most, is also known as chloroethene. Vinyl chloride is a flammable gas with a sweet odor. It is an important industrial compound used in the production of polyvinyl chloride, which is PVC. Vinyl chloride is considered carcinogenic. While it is possible to ingest vinyl chloride in contaminated drinking water, it is more common to be exposed via inhalation. Symptoms of acute exposure in ambient air include dizziness, nausea, visual disturbances, headache, and ataxia. You can test for vinyl chloride in water with a lab testing kit for VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds. And she has a link on her site to a water test kit for VOCs. Oof, this is brutal stuff. So what is butyl acrylate, also known as 2-propanoic acid butyl ester, acrylic acid butyl ester? Butyl acrylate is a colorless liquid with a fruity, strong odor. It's used in the manufacture of polymers and resins and in paint formulations. You can begin to smell butyl acrylate when its concentration exceeds 0.035 parts per million, but odor thresholds can vary greatly by person. You should not rely on odor alone to determine if butyl acrylate is present at a potentially hazardous concentration. Exposure to butyl acrylate can cause headaches, dizziness, nausea, and vomiting. What is ethyl hexyl acrylate, which is also known as 2-propanoic acid, 2-ethyl hexyl ester, acrylic acid, and 2-ethyl hexyl ester? Wow, that's a lot of mouthfuls. So, ethyl hexyl acrylate, this is like me reading the back of the shampoo bottle when I was a kid. That's what it reminds me of. Is a colorless liquid with a sweet odor. It's used in the preparation of acrylic resins, acrylate adhesives, and polymers. You can be exposed to this stuff via inhalation or skin contact at levels starting at 5 parts per million in the air. Exposure to ethyl hexyl acrylate can cause sore throat, redness, and irritation of eyes or skin, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. While not classifiable as a human carcinogen, testing has shown cancer in lab mice. This stuff's bad stuff, and we know it's all gotten into the water. We've got ethylene glycol monobutyl ether, which is a colorless liquid with a mild odor. It's used in paint, varnish, solvent, and is flammable. Yeah, that stuff should not be in our water. Acute exposures to high concentrations of ethylene glycol monobutyl ether can cause irritation to the respiratory tract and eyes. And then we've got isobutylene, which is a flammable gas with a petroleum-like odor. It's used to make butyl rubber and as an intermediate in the production of other chemicals. Well, that's very non-specific. But inhalation of isobutylene can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat, and can lead to dizziness, drowsiness, and unconsciousness at moderate concentrations. That does not make me feel good either. So will the spill affect my drinking water? Well, it's possible for these chemicals to get in a drinking water supply, either public utility water drawn from the Ohio River or private wells in the area, but it is not a guarantee that drinking water will be impacted. Well, that's a nice, like, non-specific thing right there to tell me. I don't really know what to think about that. The federal and state branches of the EPA are monitoring surface and groundwater in the area of the spill along the Ohio River and public drinking water in the area. As of right now, butyl acrylate and ethyl hexyl acrylate have been detected outside of the containment area in creeks that feed the Ohio River, but there have been no detections in public drinking water. Well, that's a good thing. No results of private well testing have been posted. Results of public drinking water and surface water monitoring in the area are posted and updated at this website. So we're still continuing to watch this. How concerned should I be about my health if I live in the area? Well, these chemicals are hazardous to human health in both air and water, but the extent of the potential risk depends on the concentrations of the contaminants and the duration of the exposure. One of these chemicals, vinyl chloride, is regularly monitored in drinking water. Vinyl chloride is carcinogenic, and the EPA has set its maximum contaminant level goal in drinking water at 0. That means that there is no known safe concentration of vinyl chloride in drinking water, assuming a lifetime of exposure. Well, that's good, I think. That's a goal. But you can test for that. Like she said, if you get tap water from a public water system or utility, you're probably okay. That doesn't make me feel good. Utilities in the area are monitoring their source water and prepared to deal with the situation if contamination is detected. I don't know exactly how they deal with the situation. If you get it from a private well, you are responsible for your own water quality. Pay attention to the news and any reports of contamination reaching groundwater nearby. We don't know right now if these chemicals will make it into groundwater, and if they do, if they will reach water that supplies private wells. What are public utilities doing about this contamination? Well, they're doing something. That's good to know. Various utilities that source water from the Ohio River have announced that they're carefully monitoring their intake water contamination, and they have alternate sources on standby in case contamination is detected. In addition, let me tell you, they also have announced that they've either enhanced their treatment processes or they have additional treatment ready in case that's needed. Again, I don't know how they can plan and account for this type of a situation, although I did see something about them giving out some kind of digital ID card to the residents of East Palestine like weeks before the thing, which was pretty interesting. See the article above that they recommend them that the residents still drink bottled water. She said she would also be careful with cooking, bathing, etc. Here, should we test our water if we're on public utility? You're not at high risk of health impacts because there are professional engineers who oversee your drinking water quality, treatment plant operations. These personnel have already been alerted to the spill and its potential risks. They're monitoring the raw water supply for indicators of dangerous concentrations of any of the contaminants. I don't know. I would say I would still check because anyone with wells can still check these. Call this number if you want to test for peace of mind. You can always use this organic compounds test kit. Test for 60 different volatile organic compounds, including vinyl chloride. And then if you're on well water, what should we do? Well, bend over and kiss your butt goodbye. No, I'm just kidding. You're more likely to be at risk if you're on private well water or spring water than if you're public tap water because there is no professional oversight of the water quality in your well. Residents of areas immediately surrounding the spill site are eligible for free well testing, of course. I would hope so. Refer to this website for phone numbers to call to request free testing and speak with toxicologists. And if you have a private or shared well and water supply and want to test your water, here's the following contaminant kit, the same thing, the same volatile organic compounds water test kit. And then they found out that because private wells may be closer to the surface than municipal water wells, the Ohio EPA recommends that those who receive drinking water from private wells schedule an appointment for well water testing by an independent consultant. That seems fair. There's phone numbers and information on how often should I test. The truth is, we don't know. That's great. If you're on well water, it's important to test once or twice a year, regardless of nearby conditions. However, in a situation like this, there are too many variables to give a strong recommendation for testing frequency. Make sure to pay attention to the news, specifically reports about local groundwater. Sampling campaigns so you can know if contamination's detected in groundwater near you, and if so, it's advisable to test your water right away. This is the part that I really wanted everyone to see, which is what can I do to remove these chemicals from my water? And that's like when they say that, the treatment plants are on standby. Because these compounds are volatile, it's best to remove them from all the water entering your house. This means treatment at the wellhead or point of entry is best. Aeration and activated carbon treatment systems are recommended for reduction of volatile organic compounds like those involved in the spill. Multi-stage treatment systems may also include an activated carbon step. This is also often the case for reverse osmosis systems, for example. That's like going through coal. It's like charcoal filtering almost. Carbon stuff. Then will boiling my water help? That's important because a lot of people, boil water advisories are very popular, but boiling your water in this case is not advised because volatile chemicals like those released in the spill are released in the air when water is boiled, and it becomes an inhalation hazard. Will distillation help? Well, that's not recommended either. So in general, distillation is not recommended for the removal of volatile organic compounds. If the target compounds have boiling points of near that water, distillation will not adequately remove them anyway. A water softener won't help or remove these compounds from your drinking water. The ion exchange technology used in water softeners is not effective for removal of VOCs like these released in the spill. Reverse osmosis is also not recommended. How interesting. However, many RO systems come with an activated carbon filtration stage. This stage should take care of the VOCs. But if you're not using one with a carbon thing, this info from Simple Lab will continue to be updated there. I know it's a lot of info. It's like a mouthful of technical jargon. And to anyone not living in the Ohio region, it really probably sounds like gobbledygook. But to anyone there, it's critical stuff. Because it's going to eventually potentially seep over to all of us.